game one, I'm hoping was the easiest one for all of us. But if you didn't finish the section, then it's possible that you actually need to work on game one. I think game one is a game that you could do in 5 or 6 minutes, and that's the kind of the goal. Does anyone feel like they did it in 5 or 6 minutes and got it all right? Okay, some of us, yeah, great. So here's one thing that you can do to help yourself go faster in this game. First of all, it says right away, right, we have these 5-digit product codes. The codes use 1, 2, 3, 4, and no others. And then they talk about each digit occurs exactly once. That's just telling you, hey, look, you have to have 0, you have to have 1, you have to have 2, 3, 4, right? Then it says the second digit, and it's like, oh, second digit, this is definitely ordering. If you didn't realize this was ordering by this time, this is a big clue. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're saying that the second digit has a value exactly twice that of the first digit. Well, at first, my inclination was to write like, oh, this is 2x. But if you think about it for a half sec, there's not that many things that can be exactly double of each other, right? What things can be exactly double?
Only 1 and 2 and 2 and 4.
Yeah, 1 and 2 and 2 and 4. Now, I'm jumping ahead of myself because I want to talk about these ideas in a little bit, but this is what I would be thinking. In these games, if you can create 2, 3, or 4 scenarios, and those 2, 3, or 4 scenarios cover all the different possibilities, then you want to do that. And here, we have only 2 possibilities, 1, 2, or 2, 4, and that accounts for almost half, not quite half, but almost half of the variables that we're dealing with. So it seems like it's going to make a lot of sense to just create these 2 worlds and then start adding rules to them rather than to the original diagram. So what I did right here was I created a second world, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I said, hey, look, it's either going to be 1, 2, or it's going to be 2, 4. And then all the other rules can be written in the context of these 2 assumptions, right? I'm not saying it is that. I'm not saying it is that. I'm just saying it's got to be one or the other. Okay? So if you can create worlds, do it. Again, you shouldn't be creating worlds if you have to create more than 4, unless you end up getting into a situation where that makes sense, which is rare. But the value of the third digit is less than the value of the 5th digit. Okay, so you have these 2 digits, and they have a relationship to each other. This one is less than that one. I don't care how you symbolize it, but you want to understand the rule and then symbolize it, right? Okay. So we can definitely go further here because who's left in this first world?
0,
0,
3,
3, and 4, right? And so if 0, 3, and 4 are left in this first world, what's got to be true given the fact that the third digit is lower or less than the 5th digit?
Can't be 4.
Okay, it cannot be 4. Now that's a negative rule, so normally negative rules would be written like this. Hey, this can't be 4. But when it's possible to convert a negative rule into a positive rule, I would try to do so because your mind tends to work faster when it thinks about what must happen rather than what can't happen. Right? We want to figure out where these variables are going, not necessarily where they're not going. Now, where they don't go is important. I'm not saying to not think about that, but this is a rule that you can easily convert into a positive rule. So if 4 can't go there, what is that telling you?
It has to be 0 or 3.
Has to be 0 or 3. That's the positive interpretation of that negative rule. So I actually wrote this on the paper, and I was all excited, but then I was like, wait. Any guess what I thought? Given what we just talked about.
The 5th digit has to be larger.
Yeah,
The 5th digit has to be larger.
That means 3 can't go in there either.
Okay, 3 can't go in there, so you could write either or, right?
Well,
You could do either
Yeah.
3 or 4.
4, yeah.
Yeah, because 4 can't, or no, 0 can't go there, sorry.
Yeah.
0 can't go there. You could do that. That would be a good continuation of this. But instead of writing that this is twice as much as this, I said, wait, there's only two options. Let's draw them out. We only have two options here, and if we know one of these, right, that's going to help us potentially figure out what that is. So, let's split this game again. Now I end up with 4 worlds, but the split would be on the basis of 0 or 3. It's either going to be 0 or it's going to be 3. I'm sorry this is getting so crowded. I'll put a line here to separate them. But this has got to stay the same, but here are my two options. So now I have 4 worlds. Which one of these is easier to deal with? The 0 or the 3?
3.
Why the 3?
Because that means the last digit has to be 4.
The last digit has to be 4, right? If that's 3, then that has to be 4. And then this has to be 0, right? Okay. And then up here, what's left?
It could either be 3, 4, or 3.
Yeah, it could be 3, 4, or 4, 3. This rule, we don't care about it anymore because it's going to be satisfied no matter what. So what I actually ended up doing was I erased it and I said, okay, 3 and 4 are going to be going back and forth here. I do a lot of erasing while I'm doing the games because I don't want any information that's unnecessary. The less information you have, the better. Well, more information is good, but as concisely as possible. Okay, so is anyone confused about what the heck just happened there? We split into 2 worlds, and then we took the first world and we split into 2 more. Okay? I would do the exact same thing down here. So take a half second and fill out this world. See if you can come up with the same thing that we come up with together. All right. Who feels like they got this? Okay. What was your name again?
Froz.
Roz.
Yeah.
All right.
So I got
What are the 2 options here?
well, I got 3 options because it could be 0, 1, 3.
Ah,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So hold on. We gotta get there though
Yeah.
in time. So what are the 2 options right here? This has got to be less than this.
So it can't be 3 in there, so it has to be 0 or 1.
Yep. So if that's confusing, just think about this. It's 0, 1, and 3. Those are the variables that are left, right? And this has to be either 0 or 1. So we could split it, say, hey, it's either going to be 0 or it's going to be 1. Is that what you were thinking? Okay. So then this is always going to be 2 and 4. Now, which one of these is easier to fill out?
Well, you know the bottom one. If you have 1, the last one has to be 3.
If you have 1 here, then this has to be 3 because it's the only variable that can be higher than 1. Right? So this has to be 3. We only have 1 slot left, so that has to be 0. Now, up top, we have 1 and 3 left. Do we care where they go?
No.
No, because either one of them will satisfy the rule that this is less than that. So 1 and 3 are going back and forth here. Now you created 2 worlds where 1 was 1 and then 3 and then 1 was 3 and then 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be more efficient just to say 1, 3 and then have an arc. Say, hey, they're going back and forth.
Okay.
So you just don't have to create as many drawings. This covers everything. How many different scenarios are in this game?
6.
Yeah, you guys see that 6? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These have 2 and these have 2. This game is done. It's going to take like a minute and a half to answer these questions now. So, if you did well in this game, but it took you, let's say, 8 minutes or 10 minutes, it's too slow. It's a really easy game, especially if you do worlds. Okay, so question 1, if the last digit of the is anyone confused by this, by the way? This process of dividing and conquering here? Okay. If the last digit of an acceptable product code is 1, this does not work in this world, it does not work in this world, and does not work in this world, right? This is the only world in which the last product code could be 1. Are we cool with that? Which one probably must be true? The first digit, 2?
Yep.
Done. That's A, apparently. Okay. 2. I would skip question 2. I would do all the if questions first, and then go to the non-if questions. Because sometimes it's not going to be true in this game because it's a very simple one and we already have all the drawings. But sometimes if questions, well, almost always, if questions require you to draw some scenario, and you can use those scenarios to disprove or prove answers in non-if questions. Okay? All right, question 3. If the third digit is not 0. If it's not 0, if we label this world 1A and 1B and 2A and 2B, what worlds are we talking about for question 3? Mark, what do you think?
Can you say the question again?
Yeah, sure. So for question 3, it says if the third digit is not 0, which worlds are we talking about?
1B and 2.
1B and 2B. So we just look at those two, right? And it says which of the following must be true. So it is something that is true about both of them. Does anyone see already what is true about both of them?
Yeah, the zeros and the 4th.
0s and 4, right? So that's probably the answer. It could be some other things, I suppose, but answer choice C says the 4th is 0. When you start predicting answers, you can go even faster. You can just scan down looking for the answer that seems relevant to that, and you don't even read all the answers. Life is good with worlds. Okay, question 4, skip. Question 5, skip. Okay, we're done with all the if questions. Go to question 2. Which of the following must be true about any acceptable product code? It's got to be true in all 4 of our worlds, right? Answer choice A, digit 1 appears before 2. Does that have to be true?
No.
It has to be true in the world in world 1, but not in world 2, right? All right, digit 1 appears before 3. Right there. I see 1 and 3 going back and forth. You just need one instance to disprove it, right? C, 2 appears before 3. Yes. Okay, done. Now you could see that answer some other way, but that's how you do it with worlds. 4, any of the following could be 3rd and 4th except. So, again, just going down the list. Could we have 0, 1? We have it right there. Could we have 0, 3? We actually have it right here. I know it's not obvious, but 3 and 1 are going back and forth. So you could have 0, 3. How about 1, 0? 1, 0, right there. How about 3, 0? Right there. Okay? How about 3, 4? Well, it better be the answer because we had the other 4, but I don't see 3, 4 up here at all. Okay? So it's E5. Which of the following must be true about any acceptable product code? Again, this is just going to be true for all of our worlds. A, exactly 1 digit between 0 and 1. That does happen here, but it doesn't happen here, so that's out, right? Exactly 1 between 1 and 2. That doesn't happen here. There's nothing between them, so that's out. 3, or answer C, at most between 1 and 3. What do you guys? Which world disproves this? Most between 1. There's at most 2 between 1 and 3.
2A.
Which one?
2A.
2A. Well,
At least.
It says at least.
Or 1B.
Well, answer choice C says there are at most 2 between digits 1 and 3. If there's at most 2, what could be true?
None.
None. You could have none, you could have 1, you could have 2, but you could not have 3. So this one is consistent with answer choice C and thus does not disprove it. 1A does. Yeah, you could put 3 over there, and then all of a sudden you have 3 in between, right? So that's out. At most 2 between 2 and 3. At most 2 between 2 and 3. Which one disproves that?
1B.
1B.
2A.
Wait. 1B. At most 2 between 2 and 3.
Oh, I
there's
know.
there's 0 between 2 and 3, but that's consistent with it. Because at most just means no more than 2, right? But you could have 2, 1, or 0. So D is not wrong for that reason, but it is wrong because
At the bottom, 2A.
yeah, 2A, you have 1, 2, 3 potentially between 1 and, or 2 and 3. Okay, answer choice E, there are at most 2 between 2 and 4. Okay, we have 2 here at most. We have 2 here at most and 0 here. So it never gets greater than 2 between. That is the answer. Questions on that game? Okay. Your goal for homework, if you did not do this game in 5 minutes, tomorrow, do it in 5 minutes. You can print it out again from the website. Okay? You can do it, and you can do it with Worlds. All right.